Okay, Saturday, February the 16th, 2013. Doing a relatively local walk today. That being around 10 miles from Hayes to Knockholt in Kent. Still in zones 5 and 6. Grey old day. Intermittent sunshine forecast. Relatively mild though for the time of year. About 9-10 degrees, so no rain forecast. It should be relatively dry underfoot as well. It's about 11 o'clock now. Should be done by 4. So early on, point 1 of the text, I noticed we're following the London Loop. Early doors, walking up Station Hill. Point 2, reaching Hayes Common, London Borough of Bromley. Following something called the Three Commons Circular Walk. Onward journeys the middle path there ahead of us. Straight away we're into gorse territory. Very pleasant plant, do like yellows. And gorse, according to that board I've just been looking at, is home to the linnet. So potentially we might see some today. Doubt it, but because it's a shy little bird, you never know. Point 2 of the text, taking the left fork, following this path for 650 metres. This is a very pleasant mixed wood. An abundance of bird song. Mainly tits of various varieties. Carpet of oak leaves on the floor. And walking underfoot is not too bad thus far. Seems to be drying out a tad. We haven't had any prolonged periods of precipitation for about a week or so now, so that's probably why. 2 of the text, 650 metres later, reaching this triangular log bordered section. Continuing right ahead there. Very pleasant in here. Back on the Three Commons footpath, this is. Approaching a very busy road by the sounds of it. Point 3 of the text refers to this section of the walk being unmarked, having just crossed the busy Croydon Road, but there is a marker down at knee height, probably difficult to see in the summer, which leads into the wood ahead. I've also noticed a number of these concrete markers on the floor, indicating probably the Three Commons Circular Walk, I'm not sure. Some recent tree fall here at the back of the gardens. Because it's fresh, it smells lovely where it's been cut. Point 4 of the text, I'm not quite sure if I'm in the right place here, but the old compass tells me that direction there through the gorse and heather is correct, and it does look quite wet underfoot as described in the text, so fingers crossed that's the right direction. It runs parallel to the road just on my right, as you can hear. Very nice scenery indeed. It's very wet indeed. Rivulets here. I bet this is very picturesque and colourful in season, this gorse and heather. Anyway, just going up the slight slope per the text, so it looks like I'm on track. Coming out of the clearing, onward journeys ahead over there. One for sorrow, eh? I hope that doesn't mean Blackburn are going to beat us today. Yeah, where's his mate? Need to see two for joy. No sign. Lovely looking bird though. Full of mischief. Gone. I'm sure his mate's somewhere nearby. Very different in the suburban environment to the town, where magpies are plentiful. Okay, emerging onto Keston Village Green, then heading for the Greyhound pub over there. As forecast, it's starting to brighten up, sunny intervals. Bit of local history here. Royal Bell Hotel, the Greyhound used to be known as. Our water fountain. There's a footpath marker here, just outside the Greyhound. This is not the onward journey, next to this Porsche showroom. Point 6 of the text, at the end of Lakes Road, entering Ravensbourne Meadows, following amongst other things, i.e. the London Loop, the Ravensbourne Trail. Information board here about Keston Common and Ravensbourne Meadows, and a reminder in the background that we're never that far from Biggin Hill. So a couple of weeks ago, down on the Ockley Walk, it was Gatwick. Today it's lighter aircraft coming from Biggin Hill. Point 6 of the text, crossing over a small stream, reasonably muddy section, ignoring the turning to the right and continuing straight on. Glimpses of the lake on the left referred to in the text. Continuing on along Keston Common and another information board. Unlike last week, there's a fair number of people around on this walk today, as you'd imagine in a semi-urban or suburban environment. Turning left alongside the upper lake. Still following the London Loop, as opposed to any other footpaths off. Doing a right here towards Caesar's Well, apparently. Canada Goose on patrol, protecting his other half, I should imagine. He's in a defensive mode. Okay, here we have seas as well. Apparently the source of these lakes and the River Ravensbourne. And in the background there, a robin in full song. In February he's probably got a nest and eggs somewhere. Now following the path towards the Wilberforce Oak on the Farnborough Trail, Farnborough Circular Walk amongst others, through this cutting. Point 8 of the text. Continue to follow these signs towards the Wilberforce Oak, turning left here towards that road, following this footpath towards Downe. It appears to have a relatively recent wire fence running alongside it now. Not sure if that was there when the text was written. It was. Holmwood House being behind there. Okay, reaching the Wilberforce Oak, which we'll find out about in a second when I film the information board behind me. And as I suspected, named after William Wilberforce. There she blows. Lovely backdrop as well. Point 9 of the text, the descent towards Downe Road. And views to the left from the same descent. It's actually quite amazing how busy Biggin Hill is. Lots of people got private jets. That's pretty much the traffic as far as I'm aware. Austerity times, eh? That field's actually a police training dog training ground. London Loop goes off left alongside that field, next to these noisy geese. Our onward journey straight ahead down Shire Lane. One of those Milton Keynes cows by the looks of it. Holmwood Farm Shop has a coffee shop now, if you need an early break. Oh, other than the farm shop sign that I just recorded, I haven't seen any other indication of Holmwood Farm, but there's a stile here, so I'm assuming we turn off right here. Seems to fit the bill under these pylons. By the second stile, and we're following the Leaves Green Circular. Clearly with horses grazing. This is probably the muddiest section of the walk that I've encountered thus far. Though having said that, the descent was pretty muddy. And yes indeedy, plenty of horses grazing. Remnants of an old stile here, prior to crossing the what would be probably the fourth one, I think, in the series. Tell 10 of the text refers to a yellow arrow on a post. Well, there she lies. So this farmer is not undertaking his duties. That needs to be put back up, otherwise people are going to get lost clearly. I now need to find this kissing gate, which I presume is up here somewhere. As you can see, there is another marker post there. There is said kissing gate. Onward journey is fairly clear there. Some rather pleasant views back, with Holmwood House up there in the distance. Chaffinch there in the background. A parakeet. My goodness. They're everywhere. Looking for holes in trees. It's their nesting time as well. Taking the left of these 3 footpaths up a small slope. Abundance of ivy in here. Nice to see, albeit it's a predator like rhododendron, but at least it's native, I believe. Text, and as you can see, this section into Downe is quite muddy. Now following a rather pleasant holly-lined footpath into Downe, having dealt with that muddy section. A plethora of footpath markers here. We're turning right by this broad oak onto the high street. Is it an oak? I'm not sure actually. Could be an elm. Anyway, turning right here onto the high street. So reaching the village of Downe, where we've been before. Got the Georgian Dragon ahead of us. The church here, which is still showing the wrong time, as it was when I was last here. It's around about 1:45 now, not 12 o'clock as shown there. And on my left, the Queen's Head. So a couple of early lunchtime stops here, but I'm headed to Cudham. As you can see, the memorial to Charles Darwin, who lived and worked in Downe, and the sundial that commemorates his time here. Can't even tell the time by that at the moment. This is St Mary the Virgin Downe, dating back to 1290. So even older than the church in Oakwood that I was in the other week. Be something about this village. Even that clock's wrong as well. The village where time stood still. Still, when you're out on a country walk, you don't really need to worry about the time. Day and night's all you need to worry about. Back towards the Queen's Head from the High Street. And final shot of the church. Bearing left, 13.1 between gardens, and even now, after all that rain, very little water in this pond. I think it was summer last time I passed this, so it had a reasonable excuse to be dry. Some kind of animal and children's farm over there. Turning right here towards Downe House. So there's Downe House, former home of Charles Darwin. Won't be going over there because been over there before. Instead, continuing on ahead into the left hand corner of this field. and from another angle. 13.2, turn left here down towards that wood, and I think thankfully for today we're leaving the hum of Biggin Hill behind us, with Downe House there in the distance. Origin of the species, eh? All started down this way. A bit like the War of the Worlds in Horsell, Woking. On this weekend that asteroids and meteorites go whizzing past the Earth. 15.2, descending through woodland, quite a dirty woodland as well. Plenty of Tesco memorabilia. I'm not talking about the horse meat either. Bit quieter over this side now. Slippy descent, be warned. Seems like Gatwick traffic's becoming more dominant now. So leave one behind and encounter another. Another one of our coal posts, this one being Cap 42. Then onward journey is familiar terrain across that field there. Now it looks like you've got two options here. The text refers to using this permissive path across the field over the stile, but that will ultimately join up, I do believe, with this footpath here, which is a conservation walk. Pleasant view now as the sun comes out. Last time I walked across here, which was actually on a Monday, I believe, people on motorbikes over there ruining the tranquility. Looking back across the valley that I've just ascended, 600 metres of slippy and rutted bridleway there. Usual story when horses are involved. Information board here about permissive access, telling us how they operate, etc. Produced by Natural England. Approaching the church of St Peter and St Paul. And there you got the correct time, just in time for lunch. One of those ancient yews again. And the last time I walked past here, they were having teas. Yeah, that's right, I remember that now. Now I need to find a bench. If I recall, there isn't one in the churchyard or graveyard, so I might have to find one in the playing field yonder. That interesting headstone that intrigued me last time. That's right, and the bizarre sight of sheep in a graveyard. Recall that as well. Very odd. Goldfinch singing in the background there. Somewhere over there. What a lovely shot that is. Tranquil Saturday afternoon. Well, it will be until 3 o'clock when the Arsenal kick off. I might do so as well, if the score doesn't go right. It's interesting because those sheep are definitely fenced in there, keeping the grass down. Although there are a number of seats in the playing field behind me, I found one in the graveyard that I'm going to use, as is my wont. And this one's in memory of, what's her name? Maureen Jared, 1928 to 2001. So thank you, Maureen. God rest your soul. It's about 1:30, or 1:25. Lunch is served. Ratatouille today. Just thought I'd let you know that. So 2 o'clock, lunch has been had, and whilst I was having it, I noticed not too many feet away is the grave of the benefactor of that seat. So once again, Maureen, thank you very much. Snowdrops on her grave there. I'm in two minds as to whether to go back on myself and film the pub, because that's what I need to do. Alright, let's get cracking. Just prior to reaching the gap in the wall where the pub car park is, there are picnic tables here I could have used as well. Just past the brick pavilion. Rather amusing. So this is the front of the Blacksmith Arms. Got a blue plaque on it there. Let's have a look and see what that says. Interesting, whoever he was. Cudham actually marks the high point of the walk today at around 175 metres, and you wouldn't really get a sense of that unless you came to the front of the pub here and then cross the road and you get this nice vista. There's a footpath sign behind me indicating Biggin Hill. I think it was 1 3/4 miles. Might be wrong because I'm saying it off the top of my head, but I'm sure that's what it said. Anyway, nice lunchtime pub by the looks of it. From another angle. And yes, I did get that right. Very nice village sign there. And for those to whom it is important, the Blacksmith's Arms is an Adnams pub. Onward journey now across the playing field is 1.5 miles, as you can tell, but I'm sure we've got a bit more than that to do. Don't see much of a garden at the rear of the pub, but it could be hidden behind that shed there. Yeah, as mentioned in some of the feedback, the 120 degrees is completely wrong and hasn't been updated. Point 13.4 by the way, and as you can see, that's the sports pavilion behind me there, from whence I've just come. Still 13.4, 40 degrees, aiming for that corner. Now I wonder if the author of this walk, when they wrote it, got their bearings mixed up, because it's about 40 degrees from the pavilion to that first kissing gate. Might have been a bit of confusion with the notes there. Still 13.4, and thankfully the farmers left a little strip of green across what would be an otherwise very muddy section. Heading for a yellow topped footpath marker there in the distance. To walk past that strip of trees. Got a bit cloudier now. Temperature's dropped a tad as well. And over there on my left, indicating why we're still in zone 5 and 6, Canary Wharf. The burgeoning Canary Wharf, expanding as I speak, with a new site being developed there. The path actually runs into the wood by the looks of it, although you've got an option to walk, as the text indicates, beside the strip as well. So you take your choice, I guess. I'll go inside and see what happens. Well, there's certainly no dryer in here. Comparing the two options, the original text version is actually in wet weather, less slippy and muddy. Turning right onto the lane, you still have to contend with a heap of mud down that section. So just before reaching those cottages on the left, there's a couple of footpath signs here. That one pointing on towards Mace Farm. And then this one here on my right, which I believe is the one we're following. This narrow strip, as you'd imagine with horses in it, has been absolutely turned into a quagmire. Cheers, lads. Right, having just left that quagmire behind, pleasant enough view at the end of the narrow field. More horses ahead. And having crossed that second stile, a very pleasant vista opens up with our onward journey clearly marked there. See the trail down and the stile ahead into the wood. And all in zone 6, eh? It is nice around Knockholt, I'll give it that. Skylark over there somewhere. Just starting to mark out their territories for the fresh season. Taking on board more fuel. You're alright, mate, you're not destined for Tesco's or Findus or anybody else. Ode to a Skylark. Ignoring that gate ahead there, press on uphill. Last paragraph of point 15. Turning right here onto the bridleway to emerge onto a lane. emerging onto the lane, point 16 of the text. Very pleasant song there. Let me see if I can find him. There he is, or she is. Thrush. Which kind, I'm not sure. Song, I would imagine, with that kind of singing. So check that when I get back on the RSPB site. So, hitting the lane, you can just see where we've come from and how many miles. And that was a quite muddy section down there. Looks like the Norstead Manor farm sign's now gone as I continue down Washney's Lane with that lovely song still going on behind me. The butt, if you'll excuse the pun, of many a joke. We don't take that one, by the way. Continue on down Washney's Lane. Ripped to shreds by mechanical hedge cutting again. What an eyesore. So detrimental to wildlife. Okay, just stood by the little Washneys here, and I'm assuming that this is Perry Lane as mentioned in the text, but there's no sign to say so. Big private residence behind that gate. So leaving the lane here, and this time following the footpath to Pratt's Bottom over that stile. But that's amazing. Just having middle of point 16, having just crossed over the stile after 120 metres along a narrow footpath, now descending through woodland, and you come across this, a freshly fallen beech. That great tit singing in the background. Look at the damage it's done over there. Anyway, you can circumnavigate it via the pine here, yew tree. So one dead beech. Rest your soul. Bet that made a noise when it came down. Oh, as those great tits continue to call each other, come out of the wood to this pleasant vista. As we ascend up the right hand side of this field, crossing this very pleasant valley. Typical Kentish scene over there. Loads of sheep. Looking back down the valley, a scene I've recorded before on what must have been the Knockholt circular. Can't think why else I'd have been walking around here. Further views across this lovely valley. Just on the fringes of Pratt's Bottom now, I believe. Rushmore Hill, and there you've got Coolin's Garden Centre up there. Possible early tea stop. Otherwise, as I'm doing, carry on ahead. And as you can see, just on the edges of London Borough of Bromley, leafy Bromley. Looks like someone got fed up with the style, so they've ripped it up. Prior to the second style after Coolin's, hedge has come down again. Very difficult to get past here. Views across a former golf course. Interesting why it's a former. Wonder what became of it. There's a relic. Tee number 2. The footpath comes out immediately opposite the kissing gate now, so there must have been some with Halstead to my right there. Must have been some rejigging of the footpaths since the text was written, probably because of this new property over there. Some footpath signs there. 2 kissing gates here that are almost impossible to get through with a rucksack on your back. Just be warned. Certainly not the Premiership, as Arsenal are held 0-0 at half time, I hear. The cock-in is 150 metres to the right ahead there. I'm not going to go up there because I'm trying to get the 4:4 train. Another week, another golf course. Knockholt golf course. And I've missed the 4:15 train. Oh well. Another variation on a Great Tit song. Got a variety of notes, the old Great Tit. As I just leave the golf course. And this is the scenery around Knockholt station, with the M25 just behind it there, over there, look. Do believe that's the M25 anyway. Soon find out when I check the map. Here we are, 4:20, a bit later than I anticipated, having missed the 16:14. Back at Knockholt. Surrounded by birdsong, as I was last time. That was a very pleasant walk. Another example, fine example of what can be found within zones 5 and 6. Lots of variety in it. Not too muddy underfoot, but there were several muddy sections, it must be said. But a very nice walk if you want a short outing from London. So that's free walk 82, Hayes to Knockholt, completed. As I leave you with that song thrush. Very pleasant. Lovely that the evenings are stretching out now.